Today I'm going to tell you why you don't have a Porsche in your garage right now.
There is one reason why you don't own a Porsche right now. But to get there, we need to tear down some common excuses. New Porsches are expensive. Yeah, I'm just stating the obvious there. Many people are like this Amazon guy whenever they see a Porsche.
Yes, I've got Porsche Carrera. Next door neighbors have a Mercedes SLS or SLK or some. Between these two cars, $200,000 right there.
The thing is, he's talking about two cars that are only worth about $15,000 to $20,000 each. But many people think the same way of an over 20-year-old Porsche that has been hit really hard by depreciation. You might be citing the high price of entry for the reason why you don't have a Porsche. Sure, a new 911 is out of reach of most folks, but the great thing about Porsche is that on the used market, there is a Porsche for just about every budget. Something like the early Porsche Boxster or 944 still have affordable options, and they are quite entertaining to drive, especially on a curvy road. This feeds into the underlying reason why you aren't driving a Porsche right now, but we're going to get into that in a bit.
By the way, if you're that Amazon guy and you're watching this, reach out to me. I'd love to show you that car.
If the initial price isn't what's stopping you, then your excuse for not owning a Porsche is probably maintenance costs. While it is true that a used Porsche can be expensive to keep on the road, there are ways to keep this reasonable. With a used Porsche that no longer has a warranty, the best thing you can probably do is buy a well-maintained example. The more documentation of maintenance, the better. Also, paying to have a pre-purchase inspection done by someone that knows the model Porsche that you are considering buying can end up saving you thousands in the long run. But what really makes maintenance affordable is doing as much maintenance as possible yourself. Thanks to YouTube, it's easy to find a video to help you do just about anything on a given Porsche model. Doing your own maintenance can save you thousands in labor costs. Plus, it can give you quite the feeling of accomplishment.
Sure, you're probably going to need to buy a few new tools, but who doesn't need an excuse to buy new tools?
We are peeling back the layers of the onion and have two more excuses to get us to the underlying issue. The first two excuses are usually self-imposed, but outside forces can also be the reason why you don't have a Porsche in your garage as we speak. Not everyone has a wonderful, supportive, significant other as I do with my wife. If a significant other isn't on board, then a Porsche probably just isn't in your future. The reason they might not be on board is often because the car is seen as a form of competition for your time. My wife has always been very supportive of my Porsche addiction, but those that I've met without such support have had to work really hard around this issue. If you include your significant other in your Porsche experience, then they are much more likely to be supportive. This could involve taking them to car events that you would otherwise go to alone, or even investing time in something that they enjoy so that they will invest time in what you enjoy. Relationships are all about give and take as well as communication, and if you include your partner and talk to them, you might just be happily surprised.
Of course, after all that, if they're not supportive, then sometimes it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. You just didn't hear that from me.
There is one more excuse to knock down before we can get to the root of why you don't have a Porsche. Thinking about what others will think or say about you if you own a Porsche is enough of an excuse to keep many from owning a Porsche. Even with depreciation, many will be like that Amazon worker and think that it's worth more than it really is. This may cause some people to treat you differently and not always in a good way. The thing is, if you allow that to affect you, then you have given others control over you. The key is not to listen to negative people, and you'll find that you can enjoy things a lot better.
Of course, I really don't care what others think. Otherwise, I would have stopped making these videos a long time ago.
And finally, we get to the heart of why you don't have a Porsche right now. Simply put, it is fear that is keeping you from owning a Porsche. No matter if your excuse is price, what others think, or any other excuse, at the core, it is fear of something that is keeping you from going in your garage and seeing a Porsche right now.
No matter what your excuse is, once you remove the fear behind that excuse and do whatever it takes to make it happen, then you'll be able to enjoy your Porsche as often as you can. The thing is that Porsche 911 ownership is not all rainbows and unicorns. So check out this video to find out the ugly truth of Porsche 911 ownership.